The AK-12 is supposed to be the most modern evolution of the legendary Kalashnikov platform. Developed by Russia to modernize its infantry weapons for the 21st century, it promises tactical upgrades, modularity, and improved accuracy, but here's the truth: behind the futuristic look and marketing, the AK-12 is one of the most disappointing rifles in the entire AK lineage. In this video, we're going to break down why, from design flaws to field performance and user experience. So sit back, and let's dig into why the AK-12 is the worst AK ever made. The AK-12 started development around 2011 as part of Russia's Ratnik program, an attempt to bring its infantry into the digital age. The first version of the rifle was ambitious, featuring a redesigned receiver, ambidextrous controls, and integrated rails, but that version was rejected by the Russian military. It was considered too complex, expensive, and incompatible with existing manufacturing infrastructure. So Kalashnikov concern went back to the drawing board, and what they ended up with in 2018 was a compromise. The final AK-12 is not a new weapon. It's essentially an updated AK-74M with modern furniture and some cosmetic upgrades. This is important to understand. The AK-12 wasn't built from scratch. It was built to look modern while keeping costs low and production familiar. At first glance, the AK-12 looks like a modern rifle. You've got a full-length Picatinny rail on top, a new polymer stock, an ergonomic pistol grip, and a redesigned handguard. On paper, it checks all the boxes, but when you pick it up and use it, the problems start to show. The top rail is mounted on the dust cover, which still flexes and shifts. That means it can lose zero, especially with heavier optics. The stock may look adjustable, but it's hollow and fragile. Reports from cold environments show the stock cracking or even breaking under moderate stress. The new selector switch includes a 2-round burst mode, which sounds great, until you actually use it. It's stiff, poorly placed, and difficult to operate without breaking your grip. And then there's the charging handle. Still mounted on the right side. Still non-reciprocating. Still non-ambidextrous. In a world of ambi rifles and slick-side designs, this feels outdated. Even the magazine, made from transparent polymer, is prone to cracking and deformation. In extreme cold or under rough use, it simply doesn't hold up. Internally, the AK-12 isn't much different from an AK-74. Same long-stroke gas piston system. Same rotating bolt, but the AK-12 introduces a few changes that arguably make the rifle worse. The redesigned gas block adds complexity without real benefit. The recoil spring guide has been reported to misalign under stress. Users in the field have experienced bolt carrier tilt, gas regulator leaks, and increased heat buildup after extended firing. In short, the AK-12 took a simple and reliable system, and added moving parts and plastic pieces that increase the chances of failure. It's not innovation. It's over-engineering. Now let's talk about how the AK-12 performs in the real world. In field tests involving 300 rounds of continuous fire without cleaning, the AK-12 experienced multiple failures to feed. When exposed to dust and sand, the action began to seize. After immersion in water, the trigger group became sluggish. In cold weather testing, around -10 degrees Fahrenheit, the polymer stock cracked. Several user reports mention the dust cover rail losing zero after just a few hundred rounds of recoil. This is in stark contrast to older rifles like the AK-74M, which handled the same conditions without issues. Even basic AR-15 platforms from the US passed similar abuse tests with better results. The AK-12 simply doesn't meet the reliability standard expected of a military rifle. Perhaps the most damning criticism comes from the people actually using the AK-12 in combat. Russian soldiers in Ukraine and Syria have shared feedback that ranges from disappointing to outright hostile. Some say the rifle jams too often in dirty environments. Others say the stock is too fragile for real combat use. The selector switch, already stiff and
Браться
awkward,
длинным
becomes
хватом, который
unusable
гораздо
in gloves
удобнее.
or under stress.
И не
There are
бояться
even
получить
reports of Russian
ожоги.
units voluntarily
Опять же,
switching
можно
back to
пристрелять прицел, что
AK-74s
установлен у вас
after
спереди.
fielding the
И не бояться,
AK-12.
что пластиковое
In some
цевье будет
cases,
смещаться и
soldiers
все
brought
такое.
older rifles from
Во всем
home
этом
rather than
забавно.
trust their issued AK-12s. That speaks volumes. When a military chooses legacy weapons over its own next-gen rifle, you know something's wrong. When you compare the AK-12 to other modern service rifles, its shortcomings become even more obvious. Western rifles like the AR-15, the $416 and the FN SCAR all offer better ergonomics, more modularity, and often greater durability under stress. These rifles are designed from the ground up for modern combat. The AK-12 is a retrofit, a cosmetic upgrade built on a 50-year-old platform. Yes, it's cheaper. Yes, it uses existing ammo and parts. But that's not enough anymore. A modern rifle needs to be rugged, modular, and intuitive to use. The AK-12 just isn't. The AK-12 represents a deeper problem: modernization without commitment. Rather than invest in a new platform, Russia took the old AK and tried to dress it up for the modern age. The result is a rifle that looks the part, but doesn't perform. It's not designed for operator comfort. It's not optimized for optics or accessories. It doesn't fix the AK's biggest flaws, it just hides them. Instead of being the next chapter in the Kalashnikov story, the AK-12 feels like the end of the line. A missed opportunity to finally bring the platform into the 21st century. So, is the AK-12 the worst AK of all time? Technically, no. It still functions. It still shoots. It still carries the DNA of the AK. But when you factor in what it was supposed to be, the symbol of Russian military modernization, it's a failure. The AK-12 doesn't innovate. It doesn't dominate. It barely improves. If you're a fan of AKs, there are better options, from the AK-103 to modernized commercial variants. The AK-12 might look the part, but it doesn't deliver. What do you think? Would you trust the AK-12 in a real firefight? Or would you stick with a classic? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and stay sharp.